the fact that I may necessarily not go and watch a whole boxing match, but if I see a 15-second clip of it, I might be like more intrigued.
With some cool music, some slow motion cuts, some cool movements, and it kind of romanticizes a particular activity, which then makes it more appealing and attracting, which then drives people into being like, oh.
But as a prospective champion, Kuda, what are you going to be clinging on to motivate yourself through the hard days, the early mornings?
Creed edits.
Creed
You
edits.
wake up, first thing you do is scroll on socials. What's my name? And then you.
I am a competitive person, but I think in the fighting sports it's kind of humbling because it makes me realize that even a 15-year-old could kind of do this to me. I want to be able to put up fight for myself.
3, 2, 1.
Karibu Jjemba, welcome back to the podcast, breaking down the biggest thing happening in East Africa right now. Today, I join you alongside Kudakwashe Mutasa as Shawn Mwenje to bring you Jjemba Yaps.
Indeed, Shawn, you do join me as Shawn Mwenje joining Kudakwashe Mutasa. But my question is, what are you doing here? When we had filmed the introductory episode of the podcast, I don't remember you being one of the names which was mentioned. So please tell the audience how it is that you have come to join us and give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself.
Hey man, let's just say maybe that day I was feeling a bit under the weather, feeling a bit camera shy, and maybe I was a bit more distant from the mic than I hoped to be. But one way or another, the opportunity for me to hop on the pod has presented itself. And as we know, and as many people have said before, the show must go on. Yeah, so I found myself stepping in to not just do Jjemba interviews, which Maremi, who was in the first episode, passed on the baton for, but also now we'll be jointly hosting this thing that we're trying to do, which is Jjemba Yaps, which was promised to be the long-anticipated, much-needed therapy sessions that the young men of East Africa have been in dire need of, right? So yeah, it's an opportunity that I relish, especially as the chance is presented to take on this show alongside you, Kuda.
Well, we're glad that you are no longer camera shy and are giving us a very big gleaming smile. Can you give us a bit of an introduction as to who you are, your connection to Jjemba, and what it is that you do?
Yes, thank you, Kuda. So effectively, my name is Shawn Mwenje. Again, I am born and raised from Nairobi, Kenya. I studied architecture at university in the UK. I'm graduating from Cambridge University with a bachelor's in architecture in 2024. And then since there, I worked in London for a bit in different design disciplines. I tried different things that included interior design, for like a food tech startup, and graphic design and videography for like, I guess you could call like a boutique marketing agency. And then shortly, I guess a year into what was a new life in London, decided to pack my bags and get on the next flight to Nairobi, where I have spent the last, few months of my life. And I am enjoying it still. And I think I'll find my way back, I guess, to architecture itself, much closer to architecture. But my history with the team is that somewhere along all those many, like, how would I say, detours and so on and so forth, I also picked up, I guess, a membership into the team of Jjemba and Jjemba Advisory. More specifically, I joined in August of 2024 as chief editor, and at that time only editor on the team, with the invitation of, you could say, Arthur at the time, one of the co-founders. And yeah, but it's been a blast since. And in the time shortly after, like, I guess my role and influence grew and so on and so forth, to eventually now lead the team as MD or managing director alongside Melvin Makada, who is off camera as well. Hopefully we'll get the chance to bring him on one of these days. But yeah, that's me, man. I hope I haven't missed anything.
Well, you have not. You've given us a very comprehensive introduction as to who you are, and we are very, very much looking forward to having you hosting some of these podcast episodes. Well, let us get into it. Hello and welcome to Jjemba Yaps. We're talking about a shift in the sports world that's bigger than any one athlete or any single match. It is about how the roar of the crowd is being replaced by the scroll of a thumb. Not only are we talking about the impact of social media in sports, but we'll also be talking about the rise of combat sports in general and deciding if it has a place in East Africa. A few years ago, the idea of a YouTuber like Jake Paul facing against a two-time heavyweight world champion like Anthony Joshua would have been a joke. But today, It's a serious multi-million dollar conversation. That matchup isn't just a fight, it's a symptom of a much larger trend. The algorithm has become the most powerful promoter in sports. And that is our topic today. We're not just talking about TikTok edits, but we're also talking about how a 15-second well-cut clip can shape a fighter's career more than a 5-round war. We're exploring how an entire generation's connection to sport is now forged through a stylized, emotional, and intense social media context. And within that, we are joined by two very, very wonderful co-hosts, shall we call them, panelists, shall we call them, Jonah and Kreeshi. Please, Jonah, begin by introducing yourself.
Hi, my name is Jonah Jjemba, and I'm the co-head of the finance desk here at Jjemba. Just like Shawn, product of East Africa, born and raised in Uganda, and I'm pursuing an undergraduate in economics and finance. I'm in my final year, so I think I might be suitable for the role of co-head of finance. So just like taking on that role, enjoying it. So, I recently got into like combat sports. I did have an experience like doing combat sports growing up through like taekwondo because my dad kind of forced me to do it every summer here and there, and obviously COVID, everybody's picking up hobbies, so I kind of got back into that. Was able to get to my second blue belt, the one with two reds on it anyway. But then after that, I kind of fell off, and then I had an internship year as part of my course and got into MMA. So I did a bit of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, some wrestling, and kickboxing. So I was naturally better at the striking part. And in trying to keep up with my friend who'd been doing MMA for 3 years and had won 4 fights, like I was easily like intimidated because all the people over there had been doing it for a little while and I was getting beaten up by 15-year-olds. So I was trying to catch up in social media and like watching all these little clips in YouTube. It helped me quite a bit. So I think, this would be a topic I'd be interested in talking about. It did help a little, but the 15-year-olds still beat me up every time. So I don't know how effective it is as a learning technique, but yeah.
Kreeshi, do you have as impressive of a fighting list that you can also tell us about?
Something tells me she might. Something tells me
Kreeshi has like Olympic gold medals in boxing.
I have zero experience in any sort of combat sports, but just to introduce myself, I'm Kreeshi. I'm a associate on the technology desk. I also joined same time as Shawn, August of 24. And I think this podcast is just a way of me contributing more to the team beyond just the technology desk. So excited for today's conversation.
Fantastic. Actually, Kuda, to go back to the intro, bro. That shit was tight, bro. That was quite the tell. A bit tight though. I feel like I was about to put on my tie. I thought this was the place where we're gonna be taking it easy. Or
yes, that is the point of Yaps. Maybe my intro was a bit hard, but the purpose of the Yaps segment is definitely to be more laid back, more relaxed, more personable, more relatable. You see, I have my hoodie on and I'm not wearing a formal shirt interviewing a founder and a CEO, you know. So definitely Yaps is the place or the domain in which we can take our foot off the gas and be a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, for sure. And not only that, let me ask you, how's recovery going? How's training going? Because you may or may not have a fight due yourself.
Indeed, I do have a fight due myself on the 30th of November. I am fighting. Now that I've said it out to the public, I better fight, but I also better win. It will be terrible.
We put you on billboards. We're basically this is pre-fight promo, right? Yeah. So you better make us proud. You have East Africa on your back, bro.
I'm carrying East Africa. I walk out with the Kenyan flag wrapped around my shoulders. But yeah, no, it's going very great. It's a 8-week training program. Then you fight at the end. You're raising money for charity, fighting, in university, fighting other university students. It's been very good. I find boxing is amazing at general physical fitness, but also mental fitness. If you speak to anybody who boxes a lot, they'll tell you a lot that a lot of martial arts is to do with mental strength and being able to, keep your cool when you're being punched in the face and being able to handle a lot of pressure. So even understanding that and sitting with myself and developing that mental fortitude and physical resilience, when you're exercising and it's that voice in your head telling you, you have to keep going, because ultimately it's you versus you. I heard this podcast episode, the one with Sachangi that you did. I think Sachangi said something of, if you beat me in repetitions, you will beat me in outcome or whatever it was. And I think that one expression has rung in my head. If you train, obviously there's the overtraining, which is a part of it, but if you train more than me and if you push yourself harder than me and you get more boxing repetitions and you punch the bag more than I do, then you are likely to beat me. But if you do not, and if I outperform you in that category, I am likely to win. So it's a lot of fighting yourself, but also physically it's great. I often think that we need to all divert back to the way of our ancestors, who were a lot more physically able than we were, because they weren't sitting down looking at screens recording podcasts. They were fighting lions. So we need
and
to
actually
go
on the holistic nature of boxing. Kreeshi, I know you contest the fact that we find you to be quite a formidable opponent, but I think you may be able to exchange notes on maybe not necessarily combat sports, but I know you are quite the swimmer. You come from a part of Kenya where that is known for not only having a lot of water, but also having all kinds of mysterious things going on. Every now and then I hear about talking cats in Mombasa and so on and so forth. But yeah, Kreeshi, to what extent can you speak to how maybe swimming might have like a similar, like benefits and so on and so forth? And also, yeah, how are things on that side of how's Coach saying? What's Coach saying?
I think a lot of what Kuda said resonates with a lot of sports. The thing, especially about repetition. So, for example, I found it crazy, like Michael Phelps, like the most decorated Olympian of all time. He was in the pool every single day consecutively for 5 to 6 years. Like, come rain, come shine, come his birthday, come Christmas, he's in the pool, and that's obviously how he was as great as he is. But in terms of sort of like health and stuff, I think overall any sort of physical activity does bring a lot of physical strength, but also mentally, like when you're sort of preparing for competitions and stuff, sort of getting into the mindset of it's you versus you, as Kuda said, trying to perform your best. I think that's what I can say of how swimming sort of relates or is similar, comparable to combat sports. But at least you're not getting punched in the face. I mean, the worst thing you can do is sort of like forget the wall is there and like swim into it. But you're not. That's very rare.
Fair enough. And what stroke, if I may ask, what stroke did you specialize in when you swam? Do you still swim to the extent that you did maybe in high school and so on and so forth?
Really, I do not swim to the level I used to, but I like backstroke. Maybe it's because you can actually consistently breathe in that stroke, like you're facing the air and you can see the sky. But yeah, I like backstroke.
I see. Then I kind of get your point about what it means, like you have to hit your head across stuff. But in some ways, I don't know, Kuda, Jonah, how strong of swimmers are you guys? Because in some ways, swimming is its own fight, right? Keeping your head above the water, especially swimming in the open sea, bro. By a show of hands, I don't know how many of you guys can keep your eyes open in like the sea and stuff like that, but it's not my thing.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I try to get one sea swim in a year just to say that I've done it, but it would not be my favorite thing because I'm crying even in a swimming pool. I can't handle chlorine in my eyes. Like I'm carrying goggles wherever I go, and I'm the one person that has my goggles at a sea swim. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm never gonna not have my goggles if I'm going swimming. But
when was the last time you went swimming?
Me, a couple weeks ago. Shawn was asking how good of a swimmer I am. I take these things very, very seriously. I used to compete when I was small, but when I say small, I mean small. Like 6 years old. I used to compete, for school. But then I came like second last in a race, and then my mom got like a swimming coach that would come. Oh, we had like a swimming pool in our area, so I'd be taught by the swimming coach. And ultimately, I didn't enjoy it because I felt like as a consequence of me failing at something, I then had to be better at it. So I think, I wasn't able to just swim for the love of the game. I had to swim, to compete, but I didn't really like swimming like that. So ultimately, my swimming career was cut short. But I'll have these on for the rest of the podcast as like, an ode to Kreeshi and her swimming career, and also because
narrative, Jonah.
Yeah, I think if me and Kreeshi were to get into the pool 1-on-1, I would probably win. So
Backstroke as well in her.
We're gonna have to put that to the test one day.
Kreeshi is like half my size. I do 3 strokes. I'm on the other side of the pool. Kreeshi is still going. I don't think that she can compete with me. She doesn't have a glass.
I hope you take that competitive spirit into the ring, bro. And I hope it doesn't do you wrong. But you may have earned an enemy in Kreeshi as you walk down that ring, bro.
Fair enough, man.
I guess on that, I think maybe you can walk us through basically what led you to actually taking that leap and actually picking up not only a combat sport, I guess, in the form of training, but also saying that you want to take on like an opponent on a declared night and so on and so forth. And I have some inclinations as to what some of those motivations may be. Like, for example, I think, Jonah, you put us on into some of your lore with regards to wanting to fare a bit better with the kids at the playground, or like just be seen as a bit more formidable in your younger years. Kuda, do you share the same sentiments?
Maybe slightly, but there's a variation. When I was younger, I grew up playing very physical sports anyway. I grew up playing rugby. So I think that's scratched a lot of that itch in that regard. But definitely, I do prioritize and care a lot about physical strength and functional strength more accurately. I have dreams of me of my kids using my body as monkey bars. And as a consequence, I need to be strong and I need to train very hard for that, for what it comes. But I think that also the ability to fight physically as a consequence of self-defense, I think is very necessary. I think your body is a big weapon, and I think it would be a shame for me to, when my body reaches its prime, which I think is at about 30, 31, 32, 33, for me not to be able to use my body to like the full extent of its capacity. I think that would be a damn shame. So right now, as I'm young, I'm trying to sharpen the sword, so my kids can, climb on me like monkey bars. But when it comes to fighting, I'm not really a violent person. I don't really have a violent bone in my body. I could really go without fighting somebody, to be honest with you. But I think the competition and the sportsman like nature of competing, where the competition is literally almost really kind of dominating another person. But it's like my body versus your body, me fighting you versus you fighting me. And I think that is a form of competition that I look forward to experimenting with.
Oh, that's really interesting to hear. Jonah, as you hear Kuda talk through some of his thoughts, do you get inspired to dust off the Taekwondo outfits and maybe have another go at it, or maybe even pivot into a different sort of fighting sport like a jiu-jitsu or something of the sort?
Yeah, I mean, I have fond memories of my last competition in Taekwondo. I placed second in that tournament. I should have taken the gold, but that's contestable. But I was like about maybe, I think, 9 years old, so I would say that I really carried much of those skills up right now, and I would love to. I actually have been considering it. Over the last year, I did some sparring, and that was probably my favorite part of the training that I did in MMA. Just we got to do the mat work, and we'd go against other people doing BJJ on the ground. And my friend, he was like particularly good because he had the experience, so he'd take me through drills and show me how to get out of like different positions. But it felt a lot more real when I was competing against people I did not know, because they were relentless, because we both could not gauge each other's skill set. He kind of cared for me, so he was obviously dampening his blows, but there was this one person, he was about 15, like 6'4", and like benched 130. And
15, 6'4"? What are they feeding the kids?
Well, I was like, I couldn't believe it, to be fair. And he had this one technique where he like kind of clenched his toes onto mine when we were on the ground, and I gave up every time immediately, because it was like, I don't know how to describe it, but if you search online, you probably see it really quickly, and that kind of left me feeling helpless. So I understand the me versus somebody else aspect that Kudo was bringing up. And I am a competitive person, but I think in the fighting sports, it's kind of humbling, because it makes me realize that even a 15-year-old could kind of do this to me. I want to be able to put up for myself. So, yeah.
Wait, let me make sure I got this correct. You felt helpless and dominated when a 15-year-old was foot wrestling you, toe wrestling you.
Essentially, I don't even know how to describe the step, but I'll send you a photo of like the style after. It was something I get mad, and his toes were. He also didn't cut his toenails, so it was like double the pain. But yeah, it was a very humbling experience. It kind of does teach you that it doesn't really matter your size or whatever, because like typically people kind of assume I'm just like you, Kud. I'm more of a lover, not a fighter. People really assume that I'm more like a aggressive, violent person because like I go gym more like to engage in combat sports or have an interest in that. But that kind of teaches you it doesn't matter your stature or your background. Yeah, you can't assume somebody else's skill level, and yeah, it just humbles you.
Yeah, fair enough. It's too bad you had to face off against, I guess, the local Victor Wembanyama, right? But I'm pretty sure you'd have fared better against someone that was much more matched. And actually, that's one of the things, like, I guess with fighting, like, you kind of have to correct for things like reach, things like weight, so on and so forth. Because I actually also have like very fond memories of my time fighting that I picked up boxing in my final year of university. And actually Kuda was supposed to pick it up alongside me. Yeah, but he bailed. It's only now that I guess he's turning back around to do it, and I'm very excited to see him make his debut. But yeah, I do think it's one of those things. I think fighting is very different from most other sports because it's very personally competitive. But it's not personally competitive in a way like, obviously tennis, for example, is like an individual sport. I guess golf is, maybe in some ways swimming is, but they're not as, how would I say, so some might say that this may even be tied to like notions of masculinity, but like it's very much like almost tied to like your identity in terms of like how viable are you like physically.
Because Shawn, you make a fair point. Yeah,
bro. So I think it's very different in that way, and I like personally I like those kinds of stakes, and those kinds of things, and I think that's why I think a lot of people can like benefit from that, and also like literally what you're saying, Jonah, in terms of like knowing your limits and so on and so forth, because actually you tend to find that people who are trained in combat sports actually tend to be a bit more hesitant to fight because they know actually what it means, and also they know that, like, to be fair, like with most people, it's not really going to be a fair fight, right? So I think it's one of those things that, like, yeah, it's pretty dope. And also, like, there's like all those old school notions of like, oh, that's how like everyone should, like, I don't know, sort out their differences and so on and so forth. I don't know if I'm necessarily on that boat, but I actually want to hear from you guys why you think, or even if you think in the first place, combat sports is as prominent as it is today. I feel like it's increasingly advertised for participation by more, how would I say, more like civilians, if that makes sense. Because I think before it was like for those guys like the Muhammad Alis and so on and so forth, and the Jackie Chans, if you love like a nice film or so on and so forth. But like I don't think there was as much participation. But now with the advent of like digital media, like it's a much more civilian thing. UFC is a bigger thing than it probably ever has been since like the turn of COVID, and so on and so forth. What do you think has made that difference? And to first take the chance at answering that question, I'm going to give the floor to the biggest fighting sports fan in the room, Kreeshi, Shavdia, please. What's your take?
I think I can speak to it as someone who's also not watched a lot of combat sports. But I think Jonah mentioned this sometime earlier as well. But the fact that I may necessarily not go and watch a whole boxing match, but if I see, for example, a 15-second clip of it, I might be like more intrigued, and then that eventually might lead to me actually going to watch sort of a whole thing. And I also think another thing is when, for example, the Creed training edit video things, when you go and see sort of the
what's my name?
When you go and see sort of the final product, that it sort of seems unattainable, but when you see sort of how they train towards the end goal, you sort of see aspects of yourself or relatable aspects, and maybe you're like, oh, this is something that even I can one day hopefully achieve as well. So I think that's some of the factors that play into it being more open to people these days.
Does that mean that we can expect to see you in the ring at some time?
Yeah, when you mocked my height, next time I'm gonna show you, like, I'm gonna train, and then be like, yeah, I think I can fight.
I think we might have a second opponent for you, Kuda. You already, there's a queue lining up. Huh? You seem to be stacking up the enemies.
Oh, pause! Don't put that in the edit. Yeah, no, I look forward to it. 100%. Whereas for me, if I were to answer the question that Shawn posed, I think definitely it's part of that. It's been access to things has been democratized. I think because they have made flips. You used to have to watch a whole boxing match. Now you can watch 15-second highlights, let alone not even watching the boxing match, but you can watch a 15-second clip with some cool music, some slow motion cuts, some cool movements, and it kind of romanticizes a particular activity, which then makes it more appealing and attracting, which then drives people into being like, oh, so what is this boxing thing? And then it's like the initial places of which your interest is able to be piqued and to be grabbed is now 15-second scrolls of your thumb. Your thumb is now probably one of the most fascinating tools when it comes to developing and seeking your interests, because now you see things and you have, the desire to do certain things. So when you put in a nice, like, cool Creed edit, and you have a nice Michael B. Jordan video, and he's looking shredded, he's looking pumped, and he's boxing, and it looks appealing, you then start to say, as Kreeshi was saying, that could be me. I want to do that. Hell, that could be why I'm fighting. You never.
Are you trying to tell us you find Michael B. Jordan's shirtless body appealing?
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. You tried. But yeah, no. You start to think, okay, maybe this could be me. Maybe I could be engaged in this, and then you start to have a little bit more, passion and energy for it. And I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Jonah. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add besides Kuda's shy gushing at Michael B. Jordan's physique.
There's no shame in it, Kuda. I think that's a pretty common sentiment. So I'm not gonna lambast you for that. But I fully agree in terms of like making it more compact and digestible. I know initially I was kind of presented like this idea of like combat sports, specifically UFC, because I'd never looked into it. I'd only actually went to classes and stuff, but all my understanding of further combat sports came from like memes and my friends like mini edits into like fight montages, or like everybody seen like maybe McGregor meme or like Khabib meme or like Islam Makhachev meme, you know what I mean? So that's how I think it also does appeal to like the greater audiences through like meme culture, because that's helped push a lot of things. Even as we were speaking about the democratization of it through like, I guess, A-list stars and celebrities like Jake Paul, KSI getting into it, a lot of it has become kind of not necessarily trivialized, but there is more of like a lighthearted nature to it that would get people into the sport. While I feel like initially it was more of a serious thing where this is an athletic commitment that only people who are serious about it get into. But now there's more of like a appreciation and a gentle introduction to it through like this other forms of media.
Yeah, and let's go back to meme culture, because in many ways that's also been an inroad for like a lot of like, I guess, what we now call influencer boxers to find themselves like lining up against more tenured and more respected fighters. Like I think there was Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, which is I think tuned into by over 65 million people when it was streamed on Netflix. I think last year it was something like that. And I think now even Jake Paul's like suiting up against Gervonta Davis, who is an active athlete. At least Mike Tyson before was like long retired, 60 years old. Just about like people were saying like you're just fighting an old man, right? But Gervonta Davis is like, he has an active belt. I'm sure he's significantly lighter than what would be like Jake Paul. I think they maybe have 30 pounds between them. Yeah. But it's just the fact that one guy was a professional athlete 5 years ago and the other guy was just playing with his camera and now they might be suiting up to take on each other just because they both command similar levels of attention is quite significant to see. And sometimes actually when you mention memes again, I start to think if a certain beef between two people was happening in a different time, they might have found their way to the ring. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the 50 Cent clip to Floyd Mayweather, yeah, where he challenges him to read a full page of Harry Potter book. Yeah. I find it like so hilarious, like the whole monologue, and it's like, yeah, Floyd Mayweather can't read because either he's dumb or he's just too concussed or whatever. And back then, like, it was like, oh, if you can do it, like, I donate to charity. But I'm pretty sure if maybe 50 Cent was like a decade younger than he was today, we wouldn't be a long way from seeing them be on opposite sides of a ring and things of that nature. But I guess when that's the kind of thing, when sensation is the thing that drives like engagement, do you think that's necessarily good for the sport? Like, is that the kind of thing that's like here today, going tomorrow, or is it like also still like helping it be something that seems more accessible to everyone and like become like a form of like grassroots, what I say, like multiplication and mobilization? What do you guys think?
I think it could be done in parallel, especially when it comes to raising awareness. Like, I'm going to use the UFC as an example specifically because I think like the ownership structure is like heavily concentrated, and having like more visibility on it. I did not know about like the payment laws and like legislation within the UFC. So I think in creating more visibility and exposing more people to the sport, it garners like more regulation, more support from outside viewers, and that kind of makes it a better experience for the fighters, for the people who participate. So I think that is a way that it could help. But then I guess it also does work in the other direction where like these kind of A-list celebrities or bigger, well-known people in different fields are kind of taking the reins and then the profits kind of being diverted away from the actual athletes. So I think it can work in parallel if certain factors are met. So yeah, it depends on the way it's received.
Yeah, first. And when you talk about UFC again, I think one of the clips that I think I rinsed, like I played it again and again. I don't like Jonah, do you know Izzy Adesanya, Israel?
Yeah.
Did you watch who's the other guy? The guy something Pereira.
No, I haven't watched too many, like actual matches. I haven't watched too many, but that name does ring a bell. Bill,
Yeah.
let me see if I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, but essentially, I think at that time, like Izzy was like a defending champion, and then he had lost the championship to Pereira, someone who had beaten him like countless times before, and then he came back and beat him, and then after knocking him out, I think he had the celebration where he was like pulling an arrow out of his back, and like he did it like twice, like and so on and so forth. And then I think now, like the post-fight, whatever, like in the interview, I think I remember him saying something along the lines of like I pray for like anyone listening to this, like you at some point in your life get to feel as happy as I am now. But I'm especially happy because I get to do this again and again and again and again. And I found that like so inspiring. I think that was like maybe 2 years ago or something like that. Yeah, but moments like that, and that's not something that came, out of a Rambo movie, a Creed movie, a Jackie Chan movie. Yeah, it was a real life thing. Yeah, by a real life athlete, not even an influencer at that. I still think those moments of like authentic inspiration are still there for everyone to like behold, because yeah, I do think the guys who are still putting in the hard yards, I think they still maybe like it's still their game at the end of the day, like it's still their territory. It will be a hard thing to like fully take it away from them, even though like everyone else is having their moments. If anything, if more people are giving it a try on account of like someone else with a camera, like inspiring them to do it, then you might just end up with more like champions that otherwise wouldn't have been in the first place. Maybe. But as a prospective champion, Kuda, what are you going to be clinging on to motivate yourself through the hard days, the early mornings?
Creed edits.
Creed
You wake
edits.
up, first thing you do is scroll on socials. What's my name? And then you get the energy for it. But I think definitely the only thing that can get you through is not motivation. I mean, it's not bursts of motivation. Ultimately, I think you fundamentally need to rejig how your entire routine works. The things that you eat, when you eat, because on top of this, you also have Jjemba, you also have university. So I think what it demands is a way in which consistently going to boxing training and keeping yourself aligned with the mentality of a boxer and everything that is required is a holistic shift in your entire routine and what you consume and what you concern yourself with over the period in time of which you're fighting.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kuda. And you said something about like fundraising and that you're fundraising towards a charitable cause as you take all these leaps and bounds towards being a more capable human being. Are there some places you can point us to, and also just let us in on the cause that all that money will be going towards? Is it your pockets? Is it your education?
Although I think lining my pockets is worthy cause if you think about it. If you ask me, no. The way it works is the ticket sales that you get from tickets they go into 3 areas. The first is for the payment of the training camp. We have an ex-British champion called Maurice Core, who trains us all. He used to be a light heavyweight, I believe. And he gives us training. So I can imagine it is the payment for that. And then, also the venue itself. And then the remaining funds go to maybe the pockets of those who've organized the event, but then also a charitable cause. I myself have not yet quite picked a charitable cause that I will be going to. I want to see if it's possible for me to pocket the money myself. But when maybe I find out that that is not a possibility, then I'll start thinking about being altruistic.
I see. Have you been given like a fundraising link, like a Just Giving, or is that not the case?
No, that's not the case. The way it works is it's via ticket sales. So each fighter has tickets that they sell, and then from the tickets that the fighter sells, that's where the proceeds come from.
Fair enough. Manchester, England's a bit far from me, all the way in Nairobi. But I will be looking to the people who are much more closer to you in terms of proximity. Kreeshi, Bristol's not that far from Manchester. And I know you're familiar with the trip, so maybe you should consider it. Maybe. I'm not going to force anyone to do anything. It might be a generational hate watch, because it seems you and Kuda have formed a bit of a rivalry here. But I think that's something you should consider. And Jonah, I don't know if you'd cross. What's the bit of water between Ireland and like the rest, like England and Scotland? What's that called?
Yo, I probably should know that it's a sea of some sorts, but it's only a 1-hour flight. So depending on when the fight is, because I'm supposed to come in January. Kuda, when's the fight actually? It's in 4 weeks.
30th of November.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's looking good. But I'll provide support from across the sea, like trust. The trust.
Will it be streamed anywhere?
Nah. The only way to watch is to be within the stadium. You see.
I might need to ask you to live stream on your Instagram.
Yeah, I'll go IG live, but it breaks my heart, Shawn, that my biggest fan won't be able to watch me in person. Shawn, you won't be there?
Hey, it will be quite the mission, but I'll see what I can do. But in the meantime, I'll definitely be rooting for you, very, very strongly, and encouraging you through week by week of your training camp. But yeah, I think that probably covers most of what will be our discussion on fighting sports and TikTok edits. Yeah, in fact, should things turn out well, I think we'll try and see what we can do. We'll talk to the comms team and see if we can get you in your own montage, right? Even in the lead up, on the other side of so on and so forth. Yeah, just make sure you're getting some good clips of everything as you go. But yeah, what does that sound like, Kuda?
No, that sounds great. The comms team to be making fan edits of me, with the music in the back, with the different types of cuts. I'll even be posing in a particular type of way. I'll be throwing punches in a particular type of. So then you can get me looking nice.
You did in slow motion. I thought they're supposed to slow it down.
No, yeah, but I'll give the comms team multiple choices. What
I
if they don't
see, I
want to slow
see.
it down? You see.
Would they be sporting the Jjemba shorts?
Yeah, I'll have Jjemba. I'll be in the blue corner sporting the Jjemba shorts. Will Jjemba sponsor me? Will they give me some cash?
You can actually get sponsored for like the fights, right? Like you can get like a logo in like your shorts or something, I think.
I probably, if I could, I'll see if I can get a Jjemba one.
Fast. We'll talk.
Win, though. You have to win, though.
Yeah, but actually, before we close off and call that as our conversation, I want us to try and do one thing. What I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to get the Creed edit down so you can listen to it. And then guess what, guys? We're about to recreate it live for our Karibu Japa audience. Yeah, we're gonna cast some people in their respective roles. I respectfully will just be directing. Yeah, I'll just be directing. There's 3 roles, right? There's Michael B. There's Adonis Creed. There's the guy who's like, I guess, trying to little bro him. Yeah, by calling him Baby Creed. Then there's Creed's girl. Yeah, that ain't no problem. Yeah, that one. So yeah, I think I would like to see Kuda and Kreeshi on opposite sides of this. Yeah, I don't know who's going to be punching who. Yeah, but Kuda, you're saying you don't want to be the main guy in this thing.
No, I'll be.
I feel like because he was really fantasizing over like the B Jordan, he should play the role.
I don't like how this narrative is played out. Jonah literally confessed to us that he was toe cuddling with 15-year-olds. And we can't see me and
also, Jonah, just for context.
There's context.
No, Jonah, for context, so that I can visualize it. How tall are you? So like.
Yo, that's some information that they're never getting out of me. I'm not drunk. I'm somewhere between.
Nah, this guy.
Oh yeah, I'm 6 foot.
No, he's not. He's a fucking liar.
I'm 6 foot and 0.3 inches. Last time I measured 6.03, like 6.25 inches. Yeah, I mean, I'm not winning against someone that's 6'4" in any world to me. But yeah, there's context though. You can't catch me on that Rico.
Anyway,
yeah.
6'6". Anyway, why is it that's important, Kreeshi?
No, it's just I could see like the visual, like, because in my head I'm just seeing a 6 foot guy over some like tiny person, but Jonah doesn't seem like he's that tiny. So
you're wondering if you are at eye level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How tall are you, Kreeshi?
Tall enough.
You guys are actually height watching. My bad.
Okay, so Kreeshi will be Adonis Creed. Jonah will.
Don't call me that. Don't call you what? Yeah.
And I will be Creed's girl.
And you will be what?
Creed's girl.
Okay, you will be Creed's girl. Okay, that's fantastic.
Guys, what are my lines?
It's a bit of an underutilization of your acting skills, but I'll take it. So Jonah, that leaves you to be the Baby Creed guy. Then
Kreeshi, make sure with your voice you go, don't call me that.
We'll try.
Actually, guys, do you want to do a read? You know, a table read like that they do in like the actors before they start acting. Like they come and they just read out their lines.
Yeah.
You want to do a table read, so we just read it now the way it is in the chat before we read it long.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Jonah, you can start, and then yeah.
Hey, good looking Baby Creed. Do I have to say all my lines like one after the other?
No,
yeah, hey, good looking, but like own it, bro. Like you're like.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Get into character, Kreesh.
Yeah, even Kreeshi, that's not a convincing. Don't call me that, bro. You need to mean it.
Ati, don't call me that.
Is it Kreeshi that said don't call me that? No, because he said it quite calm in the first one. He's like, hey, good looking.
Yeah, but he's like a Rick Ross kind of guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. All right, let me see it. All right,
let's go again. Action.
Hey, good looking Baby Creed.
I can't take myself seriously.
I'm not either.
But
go.
Yeah.
Don't call me that.
Don't call you that. Don't call you what?
Just call me Baby Creed. I said, don't call me that.
Hey fam, dig this. I was just showing you love, man. Oh shit. It's too light. Sorry. 1 second, 1 sec. Oh, I'll just say it again. Hey fam, dig this. I was just showing you love, man. You ain't gotta come off like that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's all love.
Is
I
it
know
me?
it's cool. No, that's me. I know it's cool. You definitely know it's cool.
Talking to me, talking real tough. You feel me?
Better talk to your little pretty boy boyfriend, man. Get you a VIP pass next to your pop talking to me like that.
Is that when I punch?
Yeah, you go
Yeah.
boom.
And then
Yeah, you go like. I see that it says no, so I guess like no. I think the girl says no. So like
yeah,
you
I
punch,
think Kuda's gonna hit the no.
and then Kuda says no. No. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hey, good looking baby Creed.
Don't call me that.
Don't call you that. Don't call you what?
You just call me Baby Creed. I said, don't call me that.
Hey fam, dig this. I was showing you love, man. You ain't gotta come off like that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's all love.
I know it's cool. You definitely know it's cool.
When you're talking to me, you're talking real tough. You feel me?
Better talk to your little pretty boy boyfriend, man. Get you a VIP pass next to your pop talking to me like that.
I think you can go with that. You can definitely go with that after some very great acting work from our 3 professionals.
Everybody did drama lessons. Shawn, did you do drama lessons at a point in time?
Yeah, no. I used to be an actor, Brigade. I used to do a lot of musical theater. Like I used to act. I almost got the only reason I dropped drama was because in year 9 I had a drama scholarship, but I had like an audition for a drama scholarship, but I didn't actually get the scholarship. So I was like, well, I'm not doing drama for the love of the game. So I ultimately stopped. When I was
This
younger,
is wasted talent.
I wanted to be an actor.
I can see that.
The game is not over. We've just been speaking about how people with clout can now become professional athletes. I can definitely cameo in some shows if I get my brand up. You know what I mean?
Yo, make the transition. The
We
pivot.
need to make sure you win your fight. We need to make sure we get Karibu Jjemba's cloud up. Very soon we might get you a contract, get you a meeting with someone important.
You can
Michael B. Jordan, your favorite actor.
You can hit the John Cena.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we round up this podcast episode?
Yes, we can definitely run out the podcast with that wonderful act brought to you by yours truly in the playing the protagonist love interest and one of the co-hosts of the Jjemba session due to fight on what day of the week is it? Is it a Friday, Saturday?
Sunday,
November 30th in Manchester, England. Kudakwashe Mutasa joining us from Dublin. It's Dublin.
Yep.
Dublin, Ireland, co-heading finance desk, and also the rival or the intimidative person in our last scene, Jonah Jjemba, and finally the star of the show, Adonis Creed herself, associate of the technology desk, prolific swimmer as well, Kreeshi Shavdia, and I have been your very own director of the wonderful scene that you have just seen as we close off the 4th episode of this podcast, the first edition of Jjemba Yaps. Shawn, Mwenje, it's been a pleasure, guys. I hope we will see you next time. Until next time, Karibu
Karibu Jjemba.